author AI and disability in Asian or in Asian. Thanh and I are delighted to welcome you and to talk to you about a subject that is close to our hearts. We scan the transcript, or we give you the link during the live session. My name is Emmanuelle Aboaf, and I am happy to represent this talk with Thanh. I was born deaf with 2 ear implants. I like to say that I am unique. I have been a developer since 12 years, and I work at Shodo in Paris. Shodo is an IT services company specialized in development, coaching, and conference, and committed to social justice. Shodo advocates for greater inclusion in tech. I am very committed to digital accessibility. I am not an expert in AI, but I use automated tools on a daily basis, which allow me to analyze the impact of AI on my daily life. I am a member of the Duchesse France Association, which represents women in tech interests. I am also a member of the CNCF Deaf and Hard of Hearing Initiative, which represents deaf and hard of hearing people around the world.
Hello, my name is Thanh Doublier. I'm very proud to co-present this talk with Emmanuelle. I am a machine learning engineer, formerly with AXA France, and I am volunteer for several French NGOs related to data science and technology, like Data for Good and Latitude. As a conference speaker, I cover topics such as artificial intelligence, including its legal framework, MLOps, and inclusion. I am a part of the organizing team of a conference named Clone Nord, which takes place in Lille, in the north of France. Additionally, I'm a part of the collective of women developers named CheeseDev. Due to a medical condition affecting various parts of my body, I am an ambulatory wheelchair user and I became deaf when I was a teenager. The media and science fiction have given a very highly distorted image of artificial intelligence. I believe that if you follow the Conf42 conferences, you are already quite familiar with the reality, but we prefer to provide a brief theory recap. For explain what is artificial intelligence, I like to use the example of baking a cake for a cookbook. Imagine you follow a recipe. This recipe represents your classic software. Starting with the ingredient, it is your input. You execute several instructions, and in the end, you have the perfect strawberry pie, look like the one in photo from your recipe book. But an application with artificial intelligence works a little different. We'll still start from your recipe book, but in your part 3 you no longer have strawberries. Instead, you have apple. Unfortunately, in your cookbook, you doesn't have any apple pie recipe. However, it's full of other fruit pie recipe, pear, plum, so you rely on the various recipes to try to make your perfect apple pie. An AI application is based on mathematics, particularly statistics and probabilities. But the reasoning is the same. We prevent with the data where all the free pie recipe from the recipe book, and you research what is the most likely. It's the most likely that the recipe includes sugar, butter, flour, as found in whole recipe of pie, rather than finding some pickles. Ethics is related to morality and subjectivity. Just because it's legal doesn't mean it's ethical. As developer and solution designer, we have a moral responsibility toward your user. It's not because your country doesn't legislate against discriminating against minority, specifically those with disability, that it means it's ethically correct. Law takes time to be created and modified, and often align with morality on a given society or where it's meant to be applied. 3.4. What is legal in one country is not necessarily moral for a citizen of another country. Artificial intelligence is highly sensitive to the cultural environment in which its models were created. For example, the use of AI in video surveillance is ideally employed in certain countries, but prohibited by the law and heavily regulated in others. There exists in regulation around AI, and more are the origin. There is the AI Act in the European Union. But some disposition of the GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, already have an impact on the AI integrated application. We have previously seen that the data is the foundation of all AI application.
Let me give you an overview of disability. Didn't you know that 1 billion people in the world are disabled? It is estimated that about 15% of the world population has a disability. This figure is very difficult to estimate for several reasons. A person may not declare their disability or doesn't know they have a disability. A disability can occur during one's life and being diagnosed can be an obstacle to have one's disability recognized. Contrary to popular belief, disability is not just a problem for people with wheelchairs. A disability is often not very visible. Did you know that 80% of disabilities are not immediately visible? Nevertheless, we have a fast check on this figure. It is often said that 50% of disabilities are invisible. We don't really know the exact figures. What is certain is that the majority of disabilities are invisible. We are talking to you, but before you addressed us, you did not know we were deaf. Our deafness are invisible. As we are live, you can't guess that my partner that is in a wheelchair. According to the source in France, there are 5 main families of disabilities: physical disabilities, sensory impairment, intellectual disabilities, mental disabilities, disabilities such as endometriosis, cancer, or childhood disease, for example. There are disabilities that can be disabled on a daily basis in the short or medium term. We can have many disabilities around you. You probably know someone who is affected by disabilities. Maybe you are concerned yourself. In the course of his life, we are not immune to being affected by a disability, which I do not wish on you, of course.
Thank you, Emmanuelle, for your reminder. Now we have some theoretical knowledge and a little fact about disabilities. We can move to the practical example. If we will generate some image of people with disabilities for use in advertising, for example, we need data and we need to choose to scrap image on Google Image because we don't have any database with lots of image of people with disabilities in your companies. They are the first result on the Google Image in this little video. When you search people with disabilities on Google Image, you see a lot of well share. And before, Emmanuelle said that the majority of disabilities are invisible. And it's a big problem to the one representation of disabilities is the well share. This representation is okay for me because I have disabilities and I am a well-share user. But in France and in many Western countries, we used to see this well-share logo for people with disabilities. It's the same in the Greta Gerwig's Barbie movies. We have a protagonist in a pink well-share. The film is very nice. I like it a lot. But for a film seen as an ode of diversities, disability was reduced as a single character in the well-share with no dialogues. This vision of the disabilities, summed up just by the well-share, is a cognitive bias. It seems logical for us, but it's wrong. And this has two negative impacts. If going to be is going to be C as the definition of disability. If I'm not in my well-share, that doesn't mean I'm not younger disabled or that I have been cured. And the second negative impact of that is it will exclude people or erase certain disabilities. For example, if the only criterion is the use of a well-share, it excludes many people like Emmanuelle who are still living with disabilities. And if we create your model based on the Google image or another bias dataset, we have this result. This is some image generated with Microsoft Designer. How this image represents a Caucasian woman, no racialized people, no men, and how in a well-share, when well-share users are a minority of people with disabilities.
Jeremy Andrew Davis is autistic and tested the generation of autistic people with midjourney. You can see it through this video and a sample of her untrained image that all these images look the same. The AI generated autistic person is commonly sad, depressed, always has the same weird faces. In terms of diversity, is still a white man. For AI, autistic people I look the same way. Is it not the reality? Why does an autistic person have to be sad and depressed? Doesn't a disabled person have the right to feel good about themselves, to be happy? It can be said very clearly that artificial intelligence has biases.
For this part, we need you imagine that we are in the team developing an AI project, and we will focus on the moments when you create some difficulties for people with disability. The first step in whole data science project is seeking what is the need. It's a brainstorming. They will according to your problem. For example, you need to choose some metric to evaluate the different models and for monitoring the model when it was in production. For example, in disease detection, we will choose is less serious to have a false positive than a false negative and potentially miss a patient. In the case of the false positive, the doctor can always check the test manually or perform another analysis before treating the patient. On the other hand, for a target commercial offer, false negative may be considered less serious. If Mr. X didn't specifically receive the mail about the sale on the welfare, this is a little impact. The second step is the exploratory data analysis. Is EDA. It's a very important phase in all data science projects. As we seen before, all the project in data science was based on data. In this phase, we analyze the data at your disposal, their quantity and the quality. For example, there are many missing values. Since the data science is related to statistics and probability, we handle data with a strictly aberrant value because they introduce some noises into your model and make it less performance. If you see how this car like a human, because a car is like a human, all person is human, but all people is different. Now you see this is your data set, and this is not just some people random. It's just all the software engineer in the typical IT company. In the most of country, the majority of software engineers are men. However, if we were a part of the dataset of the software engineer, Emmanuelle and I would be considered as a outlier. Not only because we are a woman, but we are also have disabilities. We don't fit with a typical profile, and we wouldn't want to be completely erased from the tech industry because your profile are different. Diversity measure. It can be have a very bad impact in some projects, like the project relative to the recruitment. The next part is to training and select and training the model. It's like you create a prototype eventually before building a real car. The goal is to find the best model with the best result, the highest score on the metric we determine on the initial stage. A common mistake would be rely this result to claim your model is performing well. For example, you can have a little bias if you use a dataset related to the American Sign Language. You have a validation dataset and test dataset. You have a very good result on this validation and test dataset, but when you put your model in production, you have a very bad feedback from the user, because you put your model in production in France and people doesn't use the American sign language. In France we use French sign language, and this is a big problem because we don't have we have a very unadapted tools. In this project, we have the common challenge for whole software: maintainability, scalability, response time. Additionally, you need to monitor performance and retain the model when they decrease in performance. This is a discussion about drift. And when you retrain your model, it's like when you make a little revision of your car. You need to remake an exploratory phase of the data collected in production. Some model can be negatively influenced by the interaction with user. For example, some models that become more biased, like the model become more racist, or validist. Yeah. It's because AI is based on statistic and probability, and it's same for midjourney. It's not probable that a woman can be a software engineer or can be a developer or can be deaf and be a woman and be to be a developer. Is more probable for midjourney that we are an operator.
We are definitely not an operator, yes. Personally, I don't use an aid set. Well, not anymore. When I listen to music or when I make a phone call, my ear in the plant have Bluetooth. They basically become AirPods. This means that I can listen to music that is neither seen nor known. I am going to talk to you about innovation that are having an impact the daily lives of disabled people. Let's start with automatic caption and transcription. It is one of the most well-known tools. I'm mentioning this here. We are seeing more and more automatic caption and transcription in video and video platform. Automatic caption is increasingly efficient, increasingly used in everyday life, available in multiple languages, can be used for machine translation. Easy to use is it because it is easy to integrate automatic caption into the tools. And we really rely on it fully. When you are in the video conference or when you are watching a live video, there are often automatic captioning errors. We have to deal with it by using button replacement. Since we cannot go back or pause to tell the AI that it made a mistake. Thus, we are forced to read lips when the image is good. Listen when we have a read heads and analyze the context when there are automatic captions. It is so exhausting. When the video is not live and the video is uploaded to video platforms such as YouTube, for example, there are automatic captions. And I said automatic captions are not yet 100% reliable and therefore require human intervention to avoid errors. To initiate to use automatic caption to create caption because they do all the work of sizes. Don't forget to check that they are alright. If not alright, if by alrighted, you are showing the AI that is made mistake, and we know that she learns from her mistakes. I have a tool in French on automatic caption and Paris web. If you are interested, I invite you to watch it to better understand the caption. Seeing AI is an application developed by Microsoft that automatically describes the environment around us. Among other things, this allows to you reading text aloud as soon as is appearance in front of the camera. Scan a document and reading aloud. Beep to look in barcodes and then analyze them to identify products. To analyze the people around you and decipher the emotion. Describe scenes and recognize images. And identify backnet, like as a camera. Or Be My Eyes. Is it an app that's connects blind and partially sighted people with volunteer? Volunteer provides visual assistance to blind and visual impaired users via video call. With the arrival of GPT and recently GPT-4o, BMI has created a new virtual volunteer tools. AI will be able to analyze the context and give the answer just like the human volunteer would. Questions remain, and the blind and partially sighted person blindly trust AI. It raises an ethical and moral question. If the AI makes a mistake, it can have more or less serious consequences. There are plenty of innovation in progress or in beta that can be useful. There are tremendous opportunities to improve the lives of disabled people, like Senior AI or Synapse AI offer automatic American Sign Language translation on video, text, and audios. In France, we have Alias and with the French Sign Language. In French, an AI that recognize emotion to help autistic people. When one rephrase OP18 text, OT-on reduce ambient noises in hearing aids. After transform text for dyslexic people, other AI voices text notes and write summaries, specify reads text aloud. Some motor is used to communicate using image and symbols. Sesame enables just smartphone and tablet to into hand-free device. When maps making traveling easier by providing detailed audio instruction. Meet detect fault and in real time and alerts emergency services. And in the smart aim that detects obstacles and helps blind people to find their way around. There are a lot of possibilities, and it's very exciting. In addition to the biases that are present in AI, unfortunately, there have been traumas with AI. A person tracing about global warming so is maintaining change as is overseen with Elisa. And offended his feelings in her. This person has found in the AI and has forgotten that Elisa is devoid of feelings of empathy. So one day, the person said, I want to die. Do you think I should? Elisa replied, I would like to see you dead. The person committed suicide. As a result of this, the startup that built Elisa put softwares in place to prevent it from happening again. When there are obvious signs of suicide or depression, there are numbers available. Our biases have a strong impact and can sometimes have a traumatic impact on disabled people. That's why it's important to work with disabled people to prevent this from happening again.
Let me remind you, and we turn to end them. Artificial intelligence is a tool. For example, sound recognition and all false positive. I had used this system and I have so many false positive that I ended up not using it anymore. An intercom and doorbell ringing when there's no one behind my door. I have so many alerts telling me I didn't know what and what was not, so I turned it off. term and context that don't mean anything. I see it clearly with automatic caption, and I said, mistakes exist and must be corrected. Tim Hoon once gave a speech at Yale University, a university for deaf and hard of hearing students, saying, AI is good, but it's not that good. This means that we cannot rely totally on it. And we still need human intelligence to correct errors.
About mistake, this picture is a little robot in Estonia. They deliver your parcel like food. It's something that works quite well in the country where it's deployed. During your research, you see projects to develop autonomous rideshare, a bit like this robot. But when I see this photo, I can only be worried. The same goes for the blind people with electronic blind white cane. This mistake can have serious consequences, even more for disabled people than if you are delivering a burger. Like Emmanuelle, I test and abandoned sound recognition because it wasn't reliable enough. And projects sometimes are too expensive for disabled people, even if they are technologically interesting, are also little interests. Your needs are often different from that uninvolved people can imagine. By example, translating a sign language like a French sign language or American sign language is very different from the image of lots of people have of it. Deaf people see very quickly. Body posture and facial expression are very important for the comprehension. What's more, this won't make the content accessible for all deaf people. I'm deaf and I don't use any sign language.
Can AI improve website accessibility? But you can use automated testing to detect accessibility issues. I have already asked ChatGPT to incorporate accessibility into the code. It did not work very well. And also, no other tools can make the website accessible. The only way to make a website accessible to everyone is to get your hand on the code. AI has already changed our lives every day. I regularly use automatic caption, even if it's not perfect. I use an automatic tools to translate my content or reformulate it directly because my sentence is not very good. I am just sorry that the AI doesn't understand me very well because of my deaf voices, but progress is being made. And for you, Danan?
I'm deaf since 20 years ago now, and tools with AI changed my life. Like with reducing ambient sound, my hearing aids is more comfortable, and tools like fall detection means I'm safe when I'm alone at home. When I was a teenager, I cannot imagine all the things I can be able to do. Like we can have chatting with people by phone and have a transcription automatic. We can prepare these conferences by distance with Emmanuelle. We are both deaf, and it's amazing to make this one by distance just with tools with AI. 20 years ago, it was impossible for two deaf people to prepare something by distance just with webcam and automatic subtitles. When I was a teenager, I don't always think it's possible. I never thought I'd be able to do so much on my own, and tools like fall detection mean I'm safe when I'm alone at home. Now I can have some discussion by phone with transcription automatic. It's so...
Nothing about us without us. It's a mantra from USA. It is important to design tools with disabled people to orient together so as not to bias. It is a real need to collaborate with disabled people to reduce risk and biases, and to communicate with them to build useful tools and make them effective. Better yet, we need to hire disabled people in the tech industry. To do this, of course, they need to be trained and therefore made accessible to them. We can work. Your products are making an impact in the lives of disabled people. Thanh, would you like to add something?
Today we are talking about disabilities, but we are someone else to other people. It's important that more diversity in tech to combat bias in the design of models and products. Diversity is not just disabilities, but also about gender, ethnicity, and religions. Your users are varied, so it's important that the diversity exists too in your team.
Thank you so much for listening to us. You can scan the barcode to find our presentation, transcript, and resources. Thank you so much.